Yo, what's up, guys? We got another video on a faster team of the Abyss Heart. So you probably seen the video yesterday. There was, let's say, I just explained it where I would say the previous team of the video of yesterday, if that would be a difficulty of 9 to rune with the lower requirements, and the lower requirements is where the homunculus doesn't get into perfect AI range because of Lin, and then therefore you're still being able to clear it, but it's slightly worse. That I would give a 9 out of 10. If you build it the way that I build it, where the Luna pushes the homunculus into perfect AI range, I would give that a 10. Then we look at this team, and this team I give straight up an 11.5, maybe even a 12 for difficulty of ruining, because I am just over the edge of being able to ruin it myself. And yeah, it's just not easy. If I had slightly better runes, I could drop this down, not to a 24-second average, but a 23-second average. Is that possible? Not really. No. Like, this is possible. 23-second average is possible. There's some RNG to it. You would need, like, pretty crazy runes to it if you want to remove that RNG. But yeah, what is different about this team compared to the previous team? Well, first thing, you can see Deborah. Deborah's in there, and we do not need the homunculus in this case because the Teshar is actually clearing the waves. I thought, actually I mentioned in the previous video that I had it before where Teshar cleared the waves. I'm not entirely sure how, where, or when I did that, but I tried that right now. It's very fucking hard. That is not easy at all to make the Teshar actually clear the waves. It's not easy. Absolutely not easy, and you're gonna see in a second why that is. Also, I will show the speed tuning in a second, which is something that I mentioned in the comments of the video yesterday, just to keep this video slightly informative and not just showing like, haha, you cannot make this. Keep it slightly informative, showing the minimum speeds on the other team and how that works, why that works. So I'll keep that informative part in the video as well, but it's going to be a little bit later. So yeah, what is the difference about this team? Mainly, Teshar is on an insane damage set, and the Luna, you think Luna might be high on damage? No, Luna's not high on damage. Luna's triple fight. I'm not lying. Luna is triple fucking fight. The whole team is triple fight. I got 3 sets of two, like Prelia triple fight, Koinonia triple fight, Deborah triple fight, Luna triple fight. That's the only reason why this Teshar can one-shot those waves. This team goes very fast the moment that the Teshar can actually one-shot mid-boss. And we don't have the rotation of the Koinonia into another Teshar hit. That only happens if Prelia goes for skill 2, lands armor break on the first hit, second hit does a little bit more damage, and then Teshar goes for skill 2, does a lot of damage. It is sometimes possible where I don't do enough damage, where we have to have the Luna S2, but since Luna is fast enough, Luna still goes for an S2, and then we have a 25-second team. So that 25-second team we can kind of reduce if we would have better routes and artifacts. Which I don't really expect to happen anytime soon, because this team is just freaking insane. So we have been running this for a few minutes right now, and we can see that it's just clearing insanely freaking fast. And also the differences in times where we can see like 24 is where we don't one-shot the final, or we don't one-shot the mid-boss by Teshar, but we don't need an S2 from the Luna. And the 23 is one-shotting mid-boss, and then 25 is two-shotting the mid-boss, and also two-shotting the final boss, if you can count Luna as a two-shot thingy, whatever. So let's actually end this run after the run that we have. Well, let's just look at it. It looks magnificent. Would you say that this is always working? No. There is one issue, and that is an issue that I have to test. How often does it happen that Prelia does not land armor break on the final boss? We actually seen it happen on the mid-boss, but on the mid-boss it's still kind of recoverable. On the final boss, it's straight up a fail. Like, it's very hard to recover that. The only way you can actually recover that is a Luna pushback, and therefore maybe getting like an armor break later and then working with it. But that's very hard to recover, especially if the boss crits like on the Teshar and Luna, because those are very squishy. But as you can see, 24-second average. That's freaking insane. So let's start with simple runes first. Simple runes first is going to be triple fight. That's very easy. Triple fight, misses an artifact. I don't give a shit. Well, maybe I can make it slightly safer if I have that artifact, but it doesn't really matter. This thing is triple fight, but it's actually using an intangible rune. And that's something that I was talking about earlier as well. Intangible runes are very good to make these sets as well. Like, if you have I have a, what's it called, fight rune that is super high on the speed. If I get this one and I get a very fast intangible rune next to it, I can make a swift fight set based on this rune, which makes these intangible runes like super good. So yeah, these are throughout, like some are better than some others, but those are pretty good throughout. And then we also have damage on water. Crit damage good is in the case for Prelia, and this is also crit damage good. A little bit crit damage, less skill 3 and everything like that. This doesn't really work, but I use it in RTA, so I don't really want to change it. I might actually want to change this for first skill crit damage if I get a high one on that. I would change it for that if I get one. So yeah, this one, triple fighter. We have the Luna. That is also triple fight. With enough, you don't need that much speed on it. Just plus 26 is enough. You don't want to go lower than plus 26. Plus 26 is the minimum on this. But yeah, there is triple fight with 215 and then close to 2k, because some of these are super shit like this. These are pretty much blues, like even worse than blues. But there's also some that actually do add some stats, like this one adds a decent amount of stats. So by all means, fight runes are not crazy good. Artifacts are the same that the artifacts of the video yesterday, so those are pretty good. Then we look at the Tesher. And you might look at it at first like, 2.9k attack, that's not that much. 284 crit damage, that doesn't look crazy amount, but keep in mind it's the combination of them too. So you don't want to go full on the crit damage, you don't want to go full on the deck, you want to have a nice balance between the two. Thanos would be happy about this one. This is a pretty insane Tesher. Also for artifacts, we have crit damage less, attack up, crit damage on skill, and then water. And this one we have attack increasing effect. The reason I go for attack increasing effect is because I want to push for that threshold where the skill 3, which is also skill 3 here, and crit damage max, pushes that you can actually kill the waves. Like the main thing that Tesher wants to do is killing the waves. And that is also very hard because if I remove one fight set, I cannot kill the waves. That's how close I am to just killing this shit. And if you check for runes, you're like, yeah, this has the pretty crazy runes throughout on this whole thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this team. Let me show the speed tuning, like the part which might actually help you with your own team. Looking at the speed tuning, so we'll go over that speed tuning list thingy that I have over here. I'll also link this in the description. If you want to have this, you can like ask me on Discord or whatnot. But the speed tuning for this, you can actually see that I need Prelia on plus 84. Tesher only needs plus 48. Funny enough, that's the other way around. But either how, like for the things that I've seen like from other people using like a 71 or not even 71. I think it's like 74. 74 pushes it to another tick higher. You don't need that. And the reason why you don't need that is because you look over here. This is where Konamiya moves, and Konamiya boosts for 100. 100 means that this becomes 125. 125 is higher than the 169 that is the enemy at this point. So this 125 makes it that Tesher and these two walk in line in that. Since we clear the mid boss with just these 3 units, my Luna can be slower, and my Luna is actually on a plus 23. And the one plus 23 is, I think, what I need if I want to go for... I don't know exactly why. Can I go lower on this? Probably I can go lower on this. Oh no, I need it for this reason. So that's exactly the same thing. If I go lower on this, I think maybe 22 is still good enough. No, actually I can go slightly lower on that. Can I go like straight up like 15? I could actually go very low on this. Okay, this is where it's too low. You still want to be on that speed tick, but I think the moment you're on that speed tick, you're always good to go. Because we're looking at this 108, and we're adding 100 to this 9 point something. So you only need a plus 12 speed on this, technically. So yeah, that's kind of like I have a 23 or 26. I don't even remember what it is. Technically, you don't need that much speed. Well, if I want to go 26, I do outspeed. Wait. Do I outspeed? I just go 1 tick earlier. I think it's probably useful to go that 1 tick earlier, but I'm not sure if that's really that much of a deal on that. So yeah, that's pretty much my new team. The big question at hand right now is this technically better than the other team or not? Because yes, it's faster. Yes, it's probably faster by about 6 seconds because the other team is averaging around 30-ish, 29.5, 30-ish. This will probably be averaging around like 24.5. But it will fail because the moment that the Prelia decides to go for a double resistance, exactly like that. Oh my god, this I should buy lottery tickets. I should buy lottery tickets right now. I called it and it happened on the 2nd. Should fucking buy lottery tickets. So yeah, this is 100% a fill. For me, the next thing right now is to check how often does it fill. And I definitely would have to make my Konamiya to where she also dies because now she's just wasting my time. So that's definitely a change I will make. But that is definitely something that I would have to check. How often does it fill? Because if it feels like, let's say, 1 in 100, but 1 in 100 compared to my runs being 6 seconds faster on average, I would say it's worth it. Like, sure, it costs you the crystals, but the other team, pretty much, it filled me 1 in 1,000. So that other team, it also can fill. It's very unlikely, but it can fill. The thing is, the other team used Tion for revives. I don't think that changes too much. I could give it a try, though, but... The other team also had the fill mechanic where if the Prelia used S3 on one of the units, there's only a 15 or there's a 15 resistance check to get not the armor break in because it's not a guaranteed armor break anymore. So with that said, the other team had some fill issues as well, but those fill issues mainly made it slower and the homunculus could clear it even if it was slower. This team, technically, I could say, like, okay, I throw in the homunculus on the Luna spot here, and I kind of have the same fail safes and that kind of shit. Yes, you could. Is it technically better? I don't think so. Well, maybe it's something I should give a try. The only issue is Tesher does not, like, if I have, once again, if I had a Tesher that was faster, if my Tesher was faster, I could have, or not faster, if I had a Tesher that's stronger, Tesher would boost the homunculus into the perfect AI range. But for that, I probably need an artifact that looks like 25 damage on water and nothing less than that. So yeah, I guess if you could make that work, I don't know. Could Lauren pushback save you from being wiped on the boss stage? Lauren... I think with Lauren you get countered earlier, and the issue is that if I get countered, Tesher doesn't survive getting countered. So maybe Lauren over Prelia might work, but the issue is a Lauren S2 has a double 75 checker, whereas this S1 has a double 95 checker. So there are some differences with that, plus that the skill 3 of Prelia is a guaranteed armor break, and guaranteed armor break is 0 AI, I like that. So I think there's more odds of Luna missing armor break than a Prelia missing armor break. Plus rest check, exactly. So these are like a 95 and 100 plus rest checks. And Lauren is a 75 times 3 plus rest check and a 2 times 75 plus rest check. So I think Prelia is definitely better for this. But once again, can anyone ruin this? Probably not. Am I going to run this? Most likely I will keep running this because this is actually freaking insane. Okay, so addition to the video, we put in the homunculus over here. The homunculus technically has the same role as the Luna. The only issue is homunculus can decide to not do shit. He does have the failsafe that if everything goes to shit, homunculus can probably still solo on his passive and that kind of nonsense. So that part is pretty nice. But he kind of feels like the guy that plays the triangle. And, wow, he also doesn't do enough damage. Shit unit. I did go for crit damage S1 on him right now. Maybe I'll go for crit damage S2 artifact or crit damage skill 3. Because skill 2 does a little bit less damage than skill 3. And he's once again triple fight, so he's kind of a shitter anyways. For damage, but he still tries to do his best. But he's like the guy playing the triangle right now. And the guy on the triangle in like any band is just sitting there waiting for his moment. And then on this moment he goes for the ding. And then instead of going for the thing and killing the whole thing, he goes for like whatever the fuck and he throws his triangle like out of the window. That's kind of what the homunculus is doing right now if he's waiting the whole freaking run to do absolutely nothing, get his chance and then go for an S1. Well, in this case, he actually went for an S3. So yeah, with homunculus, this team kind of works too. I think the failsafe is a lot better, but it's going to be like 1 second slower on average, I think. For a few reasons, homunculus skill is slower and there's more things where if he goes S1, the run is going to be like, whatever. It's just going to be more annoying. The homunculus technically doesn't even matter if the mid-boss lives. If the mid-boss lives, I've seen it not being that bad. Like, if the mid-boss lives, like, these things just stun a little bit and then I clear it anyways later. So, if the mid-boss lives, it's not really an issue because Tesher's still most likely the one to kill. So, You could technically build this thing if you want to build this with the homunculus and without a Luna, so makes it a little bit more free-to-play friendly. When the runes are absolutely not free-to-play friendly. But I think I will just keep the Luna version in there. I think I'll just give both like a test of like, let's say 1,000 runs. And just write it down somewhere in Excel or whatnot. 1,000 runs on both and then see whatever fills more. And then I'll just leave it in the description of this video or in the comments of whatever and whatnot. But I think I'll just do 1,000 runs on both and that's going to take quite a long time. Actually, his AI doesn't seem that bad because that is for sure not perfect AI range. That's 100% sure. Not perfect AI state because perfect AI state is like around 30 to 35% damage. And this was around like 45-ish. So he was definitely not on perfect AI state, but he decided to play the triangle pretty well in this case. And let's actually go for some more crit damage. More doesn't really make too much sense. I don't have a first skill crit damage. Like a first skill crit damage would be very good, but I don't have anyone of those that is... Oh, this one is actually pretty solid. It doesn't have the crit damage S1, but in the end, if it goes for an S1, it's so little damage, I don't have to boost a little damage. Like, boosting a little damage doesn't change anything. Just make up your goddamn mind and go for that S3. But if he uses S3 all the time, we're looking at 24-second averages, which is pretty freaking nice. I like that. So yeah, that's the video for today. Slightly less useful than the video yesterday, but it can help you out with certain things of the speed tuning and checking how you use the speed tuning and all of that kind of Gucci stuff. And just showcasing an awesome team. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.